In a quiet forest by the edge of a big, blue lake, lived a small turtle named Tomi. He had a round green shell, tiny feet, and big curious eyes that always looked up at the sky. Tomi loved to watch the birds fly. Every morning, he would lie on a soft patch of grass and watch flocks of birds glide above the treetops. They flapped their wings and soared with such ease, like they were dancing in the clouds. "Wow," whispered Tomi, "how amazing it must feel to fly." One day, a little sparrow landed nearby. "Hi, Tomi," chirped the sparrow. "What are you doing?" "I'm watching the sky," said Tomi. "Do you think maybe I could fly too?" The sparrow blinked. "You? But you're a turtle." Tomi nodded. "I know, but maybe if I try really, really hard." The sparrow tilted her head. "Well, that would be something to see." And from that moment, Tomi's big little dream began. The little brown sparrow introduced herself as Lulu. She chirped cheerfully and asked Tomi what he was staring at. "I want to fly," Tomi said softly. "I dream about soaring in the sky, like you." Lulu tilted her head. "You want to fly? That's the best dream ever," she said with a flutter of her wings. "Why don't we try?" Tomi blinked. "Try? But I'm a turtle." Lulu chuckled. "That's just a detail. Dreams don't care about shells or wings." She hopped up on a small log and flapped her wings excitedly. "I know some friends in the forest. Maybe they can help." Tomi's eyes sparkled. "Really?" "Of course." Lulu chapped. "Let's find the squirrel twins. They are clever. If anyone can build something to help you fly, it's them." Tomi wiggled with excitement. "Let's go." So, the turtle and the sparrow began their journey, through the tall grass and into the wide, whispering woods, on a quest to chase an impossible dream. Tomi followed Lulu deeper into the forest, his little legs moving as fast as they could. The trees grew taller, and the leaves rustled like whispers from the sky. Birds of every color fluttered between the branches, their songs echoing through the woods like a magical chorus. "This way," chirped Lulu, soaring just above the path. Tomi admired how effortlessly she glided between the trees, her wings catching the sunlight like tiny rainbows. Soon, they reached a hidden clearing. It was filled with feathers, big ones, small ones, shiny ones, soft ones, all floating gently in the breeze. "Whoa," Tomi gasped, his eyes wide with wonder. "Is this the forest of feathers?" Lulu nodded proudly. "Every bird that ever visited this forest left a feather behind. We might find something to help you here." Tomi gently stepped into the feather-filled clearing. One large feather landed right on his nose, making him giggle. He didn't know if feathers could make him fly, but his heart was already soaring. Would the forest offer him a way to reach the skies? That evening, after a long walk through the forest of feathers, Tomi and Lulu sat beside a quiet stream. The sky was turning orange, and the forest was calm. Lulu gently fluffed her feathers and looked at Tomi with a clever sparkle in her eye. "What if we make wings for you?" Lulu suggested. Tomi blinked. "Wings? But I'm a turtle." "Yes, but maybe not real wings," she chirped. "I've seen human kids make something called a paper glider. It floats through the air, just like birds." Tomi's eyes lit up. "Could it carry me?" Lulu hesitated. "Well, it might need to be bigger." much bigger. Together, they started collecting materials: big leaves, twigs, vines, and soft feathers from the clearing. Tomi tied sticks carefully with his little turtle feet while Lulu flew overhead, weaving in feathers like decorations. By moonlight, their glider began to take shape. It looked a bit like a giant feathered kite with space for Tomi to lie on top. It was far from perfect, but it was theirs. Tomi stared at it with wide eyes. "Do you think it will fly?" he whispered. Lulu tilted her head. "Only one way to find out." Tomi stood on a smooth rock at the edge of the clearing, his little legs trembling with excitement. The glider they had built sat just behind him, ready for its first flight. Lulu fluttered around him, checking each wing, each leaf, and each feather with great care. "All set," she chirped, landing on Tommy's head. Tomi nodded slowly. "I think so." They had found a small hill with a gentle slope. It wasn't high, but it felt like a mountain to Tomi. The forest held its breath. Even the breeze seemed to wait. With a deep breath, Tomi climbed onto the glider and lay flat. Lulu gave the signal, and with one big push, she helped the glider roll down the hill. At first, nothing happened. The glider bumped and wobbled. Tommy's heart pounded. But then, a sudden gust of wind caught the wings, and the glider lifted into the air. For a few seconds, Tomi was flying. The trees below looked like soft green waves. The wind rushed past his face. Lulu cheered from the sky beside him. Tommy's eyes sparkled with joy. But the glider began to tilt. A feather came loose. A branch bent too far. And gently, the glider dipped back down, landing with a soft whoosh in a patch of tall grass. Tomi rolled off, blinking. "I flew," he whispered. Lulu landed next to him, out of breath from all the excitement. "You did." They both laughed and lay on their backs, staring up at the stars just starting to twinkle. And for the first time ever, Tomi believed that even a turtle could fly, for a moment. Tomi and Lulu's journey brought them to a wide, open meadow bathed in golden afternoon light. The grass was tall and soft, swaying gently with the breeze, and the air was filled with a strange, musical hum. Every time they laughed or spoke, their voices echoed in unexpected directions, bouncing off invisible walls of air. "This place is amazing," Tomi shouted, his voice repeating in playful layers. "Hello," Lulu chirped, and a dozen hello-us replied from the grass, the trees, and even the sky. They ran and flew through the field, making silly sounds just to hear them echo back. Then, they came upon a ring of stones in the center of the meadow. Inside, the air was completely still. No echo, no wind, just perfect silence. Tomi stepped inside slowly. "It's like a secret chamber," he whispered. Lulu landed on one of the stones and tilted her head. "Maybe it's waiting for a story." Tomi sat down, took a deep breath, and began to hum. The hum didn't echo, but the ground began to glow softly beneath him. The meadow had given them a new gift, a place to pause, to listen, and to feel the magic within themselves. As the sun began to set, the golden sky guided Tomi and Lulu to the edge of the forest. There, a steep cliff stretched high above the land, overlooking a wide, shimmering lake far below. The wind howled gently, swirling Tommy's little scarf and rustling Lulu's feathers. Lulu chirped with excitement. "From here, the sky opens wide. This is where many birds take their first brave flight." Tomi looked over the edge. It was breathtaking and terrifying. "Do you think I could ever fly from here?" he asked quietly. Lulu landed on his shell. "You already do, in your own way," she said kindly. They sat together, watching other birds glide and dip in the wind currents. Tomi spread his little legs and imagined soaring beside them. As the first stars blinked above, Lulu whispered, "Even standing still, the wind carries dreams if you let it." Tomi smiled. "Then I'll let it carry mine." With the wind at their backs, they looked up at the sky, not as something far away, but as a friend, full of possibility. That night, Tomi and Lulu sat beneath the stars, the forest quiet around them. The wind had calmed, and the sky sparkled with tiny lights above. Tomi yawned, his little feet tired from the long journey. "You didn't fly, Tomi," Lulu chirped gently, "but you saw the world like no turtle ever has." Tomi smiled. "Maybe I wasn't meant to fly like a bird, but I can still go far, just in my own way." As Lulu curled beside him, Tomi lay back on the soft moss and closed his eyes. In his dreams, he wasn't flying, but climbing mountains, crossing rivers, exploring worlds no turtle had seen. Because sometimes, the best adventures aren't about becoming someone else, but discovering how far you can go just by being you. The forest breeze sang a gentle lullaby, and Tomi slept peacefully beneath the stars.